another presentation. I'm Nancy.
And I'm Sherry.
We're here to share with you again about essential oils. Sherry's going to share with you about the placement of the oils and why it's so important to place them in certain parts of your body.
Well, what I'm going to share with you is how I gained my information and where you can gain your information to understand where to place the oils in the best areas to get the maximum results. I actually, when I started my research, it's been about 15 years. So I started my research about 10 years ago, methodically doing some deep searching and researching on how am I supposed to be using these to get the maximum benefit for the health and wellness. And I found a book, and it's called A Quick Reference Guide for Using Essential Oils. This is my very first book. This one was the 8th edition. I think they're up to like the 19th edition now or more. But it's compiled by Connie and Alan Higley. And they are wonderful, wonderful authors. This is where I order a lot of my little bottles, a lot of my pamphlets. You see a lot of pamphlets on the table. This is where I ordered a lot of my essential oils educational brochures. And we will put it in the link below so that you can also find out, how to use the oils, what the primary oils are, and secondary recommendations that they recommend to use. The nice thing about this little book is you can look up any of your ailments, whether it's a headache, if it's a stomach ache. If I flip it open and I want to look at something, and it'll say, like if bronchitis, and it'll give you your primary recommendations and your secondary recommendations. Your primary is going to be in bold, and your secondary is going to be italicized. There's several oils that you can use. And what works for me may not work the same for Nancy, or what works for her may not work the same as me. Because remember, we have different chemical makeup in our bodies, and we have different constituents. What I wanted to do was to share with you, this is where I usually will gain my information for any ailments that I may be having. You can actually look up anything that you're having troubles with. And what I do is I look up, like, for example, if it's bronchitis, or let's say that it's chronic fatigue, cholesterol, chills, or if it's depression. Oh, what? Depression? So there's a lot of different areas that you can look up whatever is bothering you at that moment. You can look it up. The primary oils is going to be in bold, and the secondary oils will be in italicized. And that's what gives you, there's hundreds of oils that they have. They're going to have several recommendations so that you can apply the appropriate oil for you. Maybe you can try, maybe their primary one doesn't work as well for you, but one of the secondary ones worked very well with your particular body chemistry. So don't be discouraged if it doesn't work the same. For example, the cypress oil really works great for me for pain reduction, but maybe for you it's going to be a pine oil, or it's going to be deep relief, or it's going to be a blended oil. So that's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, is there are singular oils and then there are blend oils. Your singular oils is exactly what it is. It's going to say frankincense, That's exactly what it is. There's no blending oils in there. If it's going to have a name on there like Stress Away, that's not one oil. So that means it's a blended oil, and it was blended by Gary Young, who was a master blender. So that is the difference between a singular oil or a blend oil. The other thing that's important to remember is, as you're using your oils, you can apply it. I showed you how to apply it on your palms. So you can mix up a little blend yourself, which I usually don't. I usually just use his blend oils because he's a master blender. But I'm not saying that you can't do some research and take some of his classes, and they do have some training that you can learn to be a master blender. But you could, what I do is what they call layering. So I will take an oil and I will apply it on the areas that I need it, and then the next oil that they recommend, I'll take it and apply it. You usually let it set for about 5 seconds, then apply your next oil, and then the next oil. That's called layering.
That's right.
So that's the difference between using a blended oil or layering your oils. My favorite is to just one of the things I wanted to share with you in the book, and you will see in the book it's going to have a chart that is going to be your reflex therapy hand points. It's going to have a foot point, so you'll have your foot points and you'll have your hand points. That is really great for the use of the oils. For example, it will show you in the chart if they say, okay, if you're having troubles with your lungs, your left lung or your right lung, your lung area, if you look in the chart, you've got and it'll tell you the right, if you hold your palms up, then you can understand which side of the hand that they're talking about. But it'll tell you like your right lung, your left lung, and a little point as far as where to place the oil. So that's wonderful. One of the things that I learned over the years is if you're having some respiratory issues, and since there's a lot of respiratory in the news right now, if you place it just below your ring finger, it's about an eighth or a quarter of an inch, and you apply. So one of the things I like to do is to do the breathe again. I will apply it just remember you want to go clockwise, rub it clockwise, and I'll do it on both and rub it clockwise. When I'm working on somebody else, I do the same thing. Go below their ring finger, rub it clockwise, and your other hand, and then I'll place it, rub it clockwise, and then I have them rub their hands together and smell it. So
wonderful.
And this works very well for the respiratory. The other place is for the bronchial tubes. Your bronchial tubes are on the top of the foot, right where the foot ends and the toes begin. That's going to be the area that you can also apply this oil, and you just apply it straight across and allow it to absorb. Like I said, it only takes about 3 seconds to absorb, and then that goes directly to your bronchial area.
Feel a difference.
Oh yes, and here's the other thing is Young Living essential oils. Like I said, they're the highest therapeutic grade essential oils in the world.
Oh yes, they're wonderful.
Other oils, you'll use several drops. This one is 1 or 2. If you're using 2, you're probably going to get a big whiff.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you'll be like,
my
whoa.
chest open up.
And so, what are some of the oils that I use for respiratory, since this is on our mind, is, like I said, the breathe again, your rosemary. Rosemary is a great one to open up your sinuses, your bronchial area. Be careful if you're an asthmatic. You want to just kind of test it to see how you're doing. We don't want it to work too fast and then cause you to go into an asthma attack. So always use it with caution if you're asthmatic. Just kind of keep it a little distance and then bring it in and see how it's going to work for you. Rosemary also stops the mind chatter. If you're having troubles just shutting your mind off because you've got so many things going on, it's chattering, you go, stop, let's put the brakes on. So the best way to do that is to put a little bit of rosemary on your palms, smell it, and it's wonderful. It helps really ground. It helps really open up those pathogens in your, it almost feels like even in your brain. These do have ability to break the blood barrier to the brain. This is what's so amazing about these oils, is they're wonderful. So those are some important things. One of the things I wanted to share with you, this blew my mind. And you will find this if you order this book. This is where I understood about frequency. And frequency is so exciting. It's in everything. Every one of our billions of cells has frequency. What is frequency? It's energy. It's action. It's a verb. It's not just a word. It is a verb. It's action. So frequency is the distance between 2 points. So what does this do? And this is telling you, applying it with intention. And remember, we give God the glory in everything with these oils. We don't cure anything. It's God that's going to be curing. But the wonderful thing about this is the higher the frequency, the healthier the body. The lower the frequency, that means there's something wrong going on. It needs some help. Let me explain. When I was doing the research, and this is in the book by, Connie and Alan Higley, and they really describe this really well. And Gary Young, he studied with Bruce Tanino, and he was out of Washington, in one of the universities in Washington. He actually has a device that can measure frequency of the human body. Well, that was interesting to me because I was like, wow, so we have an ability to raise our frequency. Okay, so the human brain, when it's healthy, it's between 72 and 90 megahertz. So when you're thinking megahertz, you're thinking a light bulb. Well, guess what? We have some energy going on here. We've got some energy going on here. So the human body during the day is between 62 and 68 megahertz if it's a healthy body. When you get a cold symptoms, it drops that down to 58 megahertz.
Yeah.
What? Okay. And flu, 57. So as you can see, it's starting to drop. And then candida. How many of us have dealt with candida? What is candida? It's yeast.
Yep, yeast
infection. Yeast it can actually attack your body in many ways. Especially a lot of things. Oh, it can go into your intestines, your large intestine, your small intestine. And we'll talk about this later with Dr. Ben Johnson and how he's the one that discovered yeast acne. And it's really exciting. I can't wait to tell you about that. But yes, yeast, it drops it down to your candida is 55. That's significant. Epstein-Barr, that's going to be to deal with your thyroid. And so when it's Epstein-Barr, that's 52. As you can see, we're lowering. Okay, cancer is 42. 42 megahertz is what a person's body, it means it's fighting something major. And then death begins at 25. And I was like, wow, so what can we do? This is where my mind is blown. I'm going to blow your mind. So what they said is processed and canned foods has 0 megahertz. So what does that mean? It means it's making you full or fat or skinny or whatever, but it's not doing anything nutritional for you.
It's like a dead food.
It is. No nutritional value, none. So fresh produce is up to 15 megahertz. Whoa, now we're starting to raise, right? Fresh produce is 15 megahertz. Your dry herbs is between 12 and 22 megahertz. And then your fresh herbs, now we're cooking with gas. So we're between 20 and 27 megahertz. Now I'm fixing to blow your mind. because essential oils start at 52 and go as high as 320.
Yeah.
What the what? What?
I know.
320. So I'm gonna share with you the oil that is 320 is rose.
Mm-hmm.
Rose essential oil is the highest, it is the highest
Frequency.
megahertz in all of the oils that they have discovered so far. Yes, they're continuing to discover new plants and different, constituents, but the highest that they know of right now is rose oil. And that is beautiful. Frankincense is 70, 75. Myrrh is another one that's in the 70s. So as you can see, and they have the ability to break that blood barrier to the brain. And that means it's communicating with the whole body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go to every cell, because the root cause of all disease is the breakdown of the mitochondria.
That's right.
And so when you're getting the nutrients and that frequency into the mitochondria, what's the mitochondria? It's their energy.
Powerhouse. It's the powerhouse of the cell.
It is the powerhouse. So that's our muscles. So this is why it's so exciting about essential oils. We just shared some information that, I know it's kind of mind-boggling and mind-blowing. There's some things about frequency. I get emotional when I think about frequency, because in my opinion, this is just my opinion, frequency is the Holy Spirit. And because it's action, it's a verb, and it's living inside of us. And God is the master healer, and we have the ability within our bodies to heal when we have the knowledge. So remember that applied knowledge is true power. So this is why it's so important for us to share what we have learned ourselves, to share it with you, so that you have the ability to make the decisions that's best for your body.
right.
I'm not saying that everybody is going to be holistic right now. Sometimes it takes steps. There's no elevator to the top. You must take the stairs, as Zig Ziglar says. So, and that's the same thing with, going from a chemical world to a holistic world and lifestyle. And that's what our goal is to try dearly to provide information for you,
education,
so you can make the best decision for your body like we did ours. So
right.
This is exciting. We're full of passion and vigor and excitement about this, and to share this with you.
Well, just to let you all know, I know a lot of people don't say their ages. Women, it's like, don't say your age. I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm going to be 62 on May 23rd. And so I have been very strongly trying to make sure that what I eat, what I take into my body, has the least chemicals or has no chemicals. So I read the ingredients on everything. And I'm telling you, at the age of 62, I have 0 ailments. I have no high blood pressure. I have no sugar diabetes. I have no issues, which I'll share a lot of that later, because I became a vegetarian when I was 20. But honestly, truly myself, what I experienced through life, definitely progressing from more of a holistic lifestyle will add years to your health and into your life. So that's why we're so passionate about this, because Sherry has experienced it. I've experienced it. We've witnessed other people experiencing it. So that's why we're so passionate about sharing this with you.
And I am also a fishitarian. Remember that?
Did you see our first video? We talked about being a vegetarian.
So I'm a vegetarian that eats fish. They call it a pescatarian. What a pesky name. So I will be 60 in December. So we really, truly love to live life and to share it and to embrace, age is relative.
It's just a number.
And our spirits and our soul is very, very vibrant, and we love to help others look and feel their best. It truly is our passion.
Yes, it So we're going to end this segment because we're trying to keep them short. If you let us, we would talk for hours.
Oh,
but
we
you would be
would.
clicking off by the 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, we would talk for hours.
So again, we appreciate you watching our channel. If you would please go and subscribe, because that helps us with our channel. And also do the little thumbs up.
Oh yes.
About our video that you're watching.
Yes, yes.
Again, you know, we just started out with our channel and we're just experiencing new things here and trying new things. But we really do appreciate you watching, becoming a subscriber, and also if you will see about our GoFundMe page and help us with a small donation, because we are really trying hard to get this place really going.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it when you come visit.
Yes.
You are gonna love it.
Oh, yes.
It is so beautiful here. It's beautiful.
So we're going to end this segment, and like we always say at the end of our segments,
keep looking up, and abundant blessings always. See you next time.
See you next time.